So in my last podcast, I spoke on body-mind connection, the importance of body and mind connecting, and basically we talked on why we should aim to make sure that our body and the mind are congruent and work hand in hand whilst helping us do our regular functions, whatever we do in our daily lives. It's best to do that, and the most important factor on this is that it helps in balancing things between your mind and your body, which enhances self-awareness. So self-awareness usually will come if your body and mind are congruent and they are really working together, functioning together, and having a similar or just one singular aim at functioning to whatever goals you want to attain. But for this week, we're going to separate the two, the mind and the body, and focus on the physical, right? The mind, physical and mind connection. But it's what we talked about last week, and right now I want to touch on really on the physical and the importance of physical, basically training, right? Physical training. We're looking at this from a physical point of view and why it's important to do so. And basically, I'm trying to get people to really first learn the basics of your physical training or just your physicality, right? And it's important to first learn just the basics in whatever you want to endeavor on, whatever physical exercises or training you want, whether it's martial arts, whether it's body weight, calisthenics, or just you just want to do cardio to lose weight. Do the bare minimum once you're starting off. Once you're starting, do the basics. And that's what I want to really remind people one thing on, because it seems like a lot of people want to do just too much in a very short time, and people want to lift maybe 200 kgs within starting out, like 1 month after starting out lifting weights. All of a sudden people want to lift heavy weights, and forgetting that you always have to start somewhere. You can't just go about, no matter how strong you think you are, you cannot really go from lifting like light weights and all of a sudden lifting heavy weights. Even if you're capable of that, in the long run that won't be conducive. It really won't, because lifting these weights or just training in general should be a gradual thing. And I'm one for really advocating for doing things gradually. It's not only the safest way, but it's the much more sustainable way. It's sustainable, something that you can actually do in the long term. See, this is why I gave an example right now of lifting weight. If you start out with your 5 kg maybe weights, right? Dumbbells, whatever, barbells, right? You're doing your bench presses, right? You can't go from 5 and all of a sudden start going to 20, right? It's a gradual thing. You add on the weight gradually. Maybe you add another 5, another 2, like that, until you develop the strength to be able to really sustain that particular weight first, right? And the importance of this, first of all, people should understand is that your muscles have to get used to lifting such weights first before graduating to another muscle, right? Another weight rather, right? So once you start on this, that's why it's very important to either do a very intensive research on whatever you want to start, or have a trainer. Smart people have trainers, smart people have coaches. However, coaches and trainers are expensive, and we don't really have that many experts, right? So at the end of the day, we have to rely on whatever we can rely on, especially on YouTubers, right? However, many people seem not to get the fact that a lot of YouTubers are people who have started their journey in a very, very long time. Not many are just starting out. It's tough to really believe someone who's just starting out, unless that someone particularly say so or implies that it's just starting out. But most of these people who are famous trainers on YouTube, lifters, whatever, have been doing it for the longest. Now, if you are just coming across someone who has an impressive physique and you kind of like it, right? Don't think it just went from zero to that physique, right? Started out probably 10 years, 5 years, even 2 years. However, they did start out somewhere, right? So you cannot just jump into that hot water thinking you can also do the very same thing, or at least in this case lift the same amount of weight, heavy as it may be. You think all of a sudden you could do the same. That would be a very big mistake. So with that said, it's best also to choose the right exercises for you, the best exercises for you, right? People make the mistake and think that certain exercises were meant for only certain people, or certain exercises are not meant for them, or they make the mistake of thinking certain exercises are for them, you see. So unfortunately, we, in this case, right, we may have to go through trial and error, right? You can try different things, right? There's so many exercises, training and exercises to do out there. So you don't have to just stick to one particular thing if you do not want to. And you do not also have to just do if you don't like doing different sort of exercises, you do not have to do that. Just narrow things out. The best thing is to just start with the basic, like things like push-ups, pull-ups. Those are the basics. Dips, squats, the real basics. If you start with these, then you can also bring other exercises into your arsenal, right? And then do various different things at the same time. However, the best way to narrow things out is to really have a program. Write down your exercises that you'll be doing in your regular basis. They say, experts say the minimum exercises to be doing is 3 times a week, at least do 4, 5, 6 or 4 to 5 exercises on those 3 days, per week. And once you're able to at least squeeze in these, right, in a program, it's best then this is how you usually going to get to know what works best for you. You can omit what does not work as long as you are consistent with it, right? If you become consistent with your exercises, you'll know this works, this doesn't work. You'll also know what are your favorite exercises. Some people have a favorite, which is nothing wrong with that as long as those exercises bring results, right? And sticking to the regime, sticking to that the program, then being consistent, that will definitely bring you results, especially in the long run of things, right? And that's what we're searching for. So that physical aspiration that we want to see. It needs consistency. It needs us to have a routine, a proper routine, a proper program that we can stick to, right? At least for a long time or for a certain period before switching to a different one. And also, it becomes easier to tweak things, to change up things once you have a program, because like I said, you know what to omit, you know what to change, you know what are the things that are working. So tweaking it here and there, changing stuff, the reps, the sets, whatever, the intensity, that becomes something that you learn because you know how your body will adapt, and it becomes much more easier to change up things according to your goals. Probably you also want to add some more weight, or just add much more intensity for your shoulders, right? So you know exactly how you're gonna go about this, and that's the best part about having a program. That's why the best of the athletes will have a program that will work for them, right? And so to conclude, really, what we should concentrate on when trying to get to that physical peak that we want to, that physical strength that we look for, right? Start with the basics. The basics are always the best, and then you can switch things up as you progress. And we should remember that progression is very important when it comes to exercising. For instance, you can't stick to just one weight. You can't just keep on lifting or bench press just 5 kg or 10 kg and stick at that. Yeah, your body's going to get used to that, and to need a different challenge for your muscles to grow, or for your strength to gain more strength. So you have to progress above that, whether you're going to progress in intensity, or you're going to use more sets, or whatever, or reps. You have to progress. So also not to forget to stick with your program for a long time. Be consistent with it. If you're consistent with your program, it's when you may be able to see better results. Should remember that we are different. People see results different times, right? Some may start seeing a bit of results after 2 weeks, 3 weeks of training, some a month, and some even a year or even 2 years. Some people don't see results even after a few 5 years. The thing is to be consistent and know what your body needs, reading your body, and to also once you have that program built, not to always be taking too much information in. Stick to your program for the longest. Stick to your program, and then eventually you see results. Having an information overload will keep you just doing almost the same thing the same way, though you need to progress, and you have to just be sticking to things and doing it in a way that your body can accept it, and accept the program and adapt to it. So we should watch out also for information overload that we consume. Sometimes we over consume things from social media, from the internet, and then we tend to complicate things. We're not supposed to be doing this. Just stick to the basics, create that program, stick to it, be consistent, really tweak it, changing it to adapt to it where it's best, optimum for you, and then eventually you're going to get there. And I'm going to stop there for today, and with that said, peace to the gods.